Parvasi's team is here outside Mubarak Mosque, where the Ontario government just announced a 25.5 million funding towards tackling hate crimes across Ontario. Recently, we have been seeing a rise in the hate crimes across the province with attacks on mandirs, masjids, and even church. The announcement was joined by MPP McGregor, Minister Michael Ford, Minister Sharman Williams, Solicitor General Kesner.
And we're also proud to be joined by groups like the National Council of Canadian Muslims, the Centre of Israel and Jewish Affairs, and the Muslim Association of Canada. Our government has always respected and appreciated the importance of places of worship and community spaces and what they mean and bring to a community. A place of worship brings a sense of belonging, a sense of security, a sense of home for people. In Brampton, we're fortunate to have so much diversity integrated into our everyday lives, and it truly enhances the cultural fabric of our city and of our province. And that's something that our government is dead set on supporting and protecting. Ontario is a place where it doesn't matter where you come from, who you love, or how you choose to worship God. Everybody belongs in Ontario. Everybody deserves to feel safe. That's what makes Ontario the greatest place to live, work, and raise a family. With all that being said, we've got some exciting news this morning. It's now my pleasure to introduce my very good friend, the Honorable Michael Ford.
The Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs for joining us here today, and thank you for your valued partnership in the ongoing fight against hate and all you do to support, empower, and advocate for your communities here in Ontario. We are announcing an additional investment of $25.5 million in the new Anti-Hate and Security Prevention Grant.
Good morning, Ministers. Prabnoor from Parvasi Media Group. So, since we are celebrating Mental Health Awareness Week, mental health is quite a complex issue. However, one of the main reasons people fall into mental health crisis is when they lose hope. What and how has Ontario government contributed towards reinstating that hope in the current socio-economic standing of the province? And Minister, how do you feel multiculturalism can contribute to it?
I think, thank you very much for that great question. And look, I think Minister Kersner said it right, the hope of Ontario. We are one of the most multicultural jurisdictions in the world. We have people from all walks of life, from all corners of society. And that is truly what makes Ontario one of the greatest places in the world. We have an incredibly strong economy, a growing economy, just creating more than 500,000 jobs in the last 4 years alone. And with a growing economy, we need people to fill those jobs. And that's why we are taking an all-of-government approach, not speaking for the Minister of Labour, but he's done incredible work on the skilled trades, on making sure that Ontario is a place for everyone, where people can come to Ontario to find a good paying job. We're getting housing built. That's something the Premier speaks about each and every day. And it's these commitments, among so many, that are going to the full promise of Ontario and to make Ontario one of the greatest places in the world.
And I've been grateful to join friends at my own local mosque in my riding of York Centre, the Imd Abdul Islamic Centre, as we recently marked Ramadan, concluding with the Eid al-Fitr. And it's an honor for all of us to stand together, to stand against Islamophobia, against anti-Semitism, against anti-Christian hate, and against discrimination of all kind. And for me and Minister Ford and my colleagues, and our Premier, today's announcement is personal. Per moi et per nous tous, c'est annonce et personnel. Our message is clear. We're going to stand up to hate and to stand up to intolerance and to stand up for Ontario. Hate has no home in Ontario. Hate is toxic to our democracy and the fabric of who we are. And today we are taking steps to stamp it out.
We have seen the public safety and security here in Ontario is a serious concern. When you talk tough, everybody likes that. Everybody wants government should talk tough, and you are doing that. We have seen your posts. So now yesterday in Burlington, 30 cars were targeted in a single night. Government is investing in police forces, bringing more police officers. My question is, when 13 premiers wrote to federal government, when mayors wrote to federal government, when yourself recently talked that it's a federal jurisdiction, they have to act. What is the single reason federal government is not acting? Because 30 cars in a day, 200 cars in one day in whole of the Ontario is too much. Too much is happening here in Ontario, and you are in charge of the government now. Also, do we have here the rope, means the bail compliance units? If federal government is not acting, does Ontario have the rope, the bail, dedicated bail compliance units? If we have, then do we have officers in that? If we don't have officers, then why can't the provincial government can act and make bail compliance strict so that our criminals are behind the bar and not on the streets? Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for your question. And really, it highlights what our government has done recently with three major announcements. The first announcement about 10 days ago, where we announced that we wanted to reduce the barriers for people who want a career in public safety.